Welcome back, viewers, to the List of Legends list, and for today's list, we are going to be looking at Fixing Total Drama All-Stars Volume 2. Now, I was going to do a top 8 video, and I plan on making one in the next couple of videos, depending what you all want to see on the channel, but I said I would make a part 2 to Fixing Total Drama All-Stars if it got enough requests, and sure enough, you guys absolutely blew that out of the water, so it has been spoken. So I got my trusty hammer out, so I'm ready to do my best to fix Total Drama All-Stars once again. So that's what's going to be happening on our list today. If you'd like to see Fixing Total Drama All-Stars 1, I will leave a link down in the description. And lastly, before we begin, make sure to click that like and subscribe button so I know you like my content. Without further interruptions, let's begin. Now on my last list, the first thing I started with was the cast, and I think I'm going to do the same thing here as well. But in order to do that, we first need to establish when All-Stars would take place, because having 3 seasons with the original cast, and only 1 with the Revenge cast as well as the Pakachiwa cast, isn't well balanced, and not enough room for proper development. I mean, if you're going to do that, at least make it with 20 episodes plus, like, the first 3 seasons. So with that being said, I'm completely fine with how seasons 1 to 3 turned out, and there's no reason to change it. Now, getting into Revenge of the Island, having only 13 episodes is extremely short and makes everything feel rushed. So grabbing my hammer, I'm going to fix this by adding more new characters to the cast, and adding more episodes. Of course, it doesn't need to have like 30 episodes or anything, just enough to where we have character development and better plot points. Another thing people like to bring up is Chris going bloodthirsty on the contestants, and yes, I can definitely agree they put Chris's insanity on the max, especially in Revenge, and double that in All-Stars. So I would have Chris go back to how he acted in Total Drama Island. Back then, he wasn't like their best friend or anything, but he did show some extent to the campers' well-being. So I think if they dialed it back on his insanity, by the time All-Stars debuted, it would just be a normal Chris. None of that forgetting to feed his interns or toxic waste contamination. That was really stupid and made Chris look even more like a psychopath. Honestly, as weird as it sounds, they really could just do a season or even more potentially with the Pakachiwa cast and the Revenge cast together as one large cast. You have pretty much the same amount as the Island cast, if not more, and you have an overall longer season, each time depending on how many they want to go for. But even that sounds too weird, maybe just do a couple seasons with the Revenge cast, then a couple with the Pakachiwa cast. Either or is personally fine by me. Now that we have a general base for All-Stars to stand on, let's see what direction we can go on to paint this blank canvas, because there are literally so many colors we can dye it. So before we look into fixing Total Drama All-Stars itself, we first need to look at why Total Drama All-Stars failed in the first place. I mean, Total Drama All-Stars was advertised to be one of, if not the best season of Total Drama ever, but it failed. Why? How could the writers take something we love and completely flush it down the toilet? Literally. And the answer to that is rather simple. They took the easy route and pretty much discarded us what made us love Total Drama in the first place, or what made us like these characters, who we could relate to, or who we wanted to see get eliminated. Well, here they just started with a small handful of characters and an even smaller handful of 13 episodes, so they pretty much crammed what they could and called it a season, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. So now with everything else out of the way, we got Not a Psycho Chris with a couple seasons of actual good entertainment from the Revenge cast and Pakachiwa cast together, so we have that new hype for what All-Stars could really be. Now we can go back to the original starting point. What is the cast going to consist of? Well, the key plot point in what ruined Total Drama All-Stars in the first place was the waste of characters and derailment. Like I said before, Sam and Sierra should not have been included. They were both really annoying and to me brought no drama to what the show is supposed to be. So now as for the new cast, I honestly think removing Sam and Sierra is the only real change that I think would make a big difference. Plus, with it being a longer season, we'll be able to have 10 or more characters with Sierra and Sam gone. As up for what those 10 characters should be, I would say Owen is definitely a choice. He's clearly all-star worthy for winning a season, and he's definitely one of the show's most popular characters to begin with. Dawn, Brick, and Harold are more so the underdogs that people really want back, so I think just adding them will just be some nice fan service, and honestly, Brick all around is a good choice since he has his rivalry with Joe, and that can be its own drama. I also would add Sky, Sean, Jasmine, Max, and Topher, and lastly we'll throw B in there just because him and Dom were both a really good team all throughout Revenge of the Island anyway. Since the casting is now done, the next step would be the theme, or rather the teams. And there are plenty of ways to do that. I mean, you could do underdogs versus high competitors, or keep it heroes versus villains. I personally would just keep it heroes versus villains just because I don't see how the theme itself ruins anything. But to switch it up, I guess we can do the underdogs versus the champions or something. It really doesn't matter in the end. Next, we move on to character derailment. As I said previously, the characters acted nothing like they did in the earlier seasons. A prime example is Duncan going from a bad boy not caring at all to downright just asking every small thing if it's bad, and of course let's not forget Gwen being called a villain for quote unquote stealing Duncan from Courtney. So obviously we'll just have the characters act how they were before, so Courtney moves on from the whole Duncan thing and we never have this dumb love triangle again. One thing we definitely need to see more of is sabotaging. Like, why not have Heather and Alejandro sabotage a challenge, or have Scott stir up drama in his team again? It just seems All Stars really was just bickering who's in charge. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Heather and Joe. So yeah, definitely more behind the scenes drama. Like, come on, that's what the show is called. Honestly, this goes perfectly to our next segment, and that's Mal. How do we deal with him? Because obviously nobody wanted him as the villain, and especially the ending. Just no. So what can we do? Well, honestly, as I said before, we could just remove Mal entirely, or have him simply be defeated earlier on. And with this being a longer season, I think he'll have more room for story anyway, so I think we'll just keep him around, but have him defeated earlier on, of course. Lastly, we need to figure out our final two contestants, and this is where everyone kinda has their own version of the finale, and to me the best finale would probably be Brick versus Courtney. Just because of how Courtney's character is, she would definitely try to cause so many obstacles for Brick. It would just be very entertaining to watch. But of course, since it is Volume 2, I'm going to have two different competitors. And I think a fair final two would be Lindsay versus Joe. You have Lindsay, who is outright a lovable lame brain, perfect underdog. I mean, she got voted out first. Like, I don't see how it gets much worse than that. And Joe is a brute force manipulator, all around a good high-end competitor. I definitely say it would be entertaining nonetheless. Obviously, I'm not including characters like Heather or Owen as a final two, since they've already potentially won a season, and while a double winner would sound cool, I just think a new winner is more practical. Now we have Joe versus Lindsay. Who's our winner? Well, if it was up to me, obviously I'm giving that trophy with that $1 million to the underdog, Lindsay. I mean, come on, I don't think I have to explain why it's Lindsay, just give her the win. Plus, I think it would be pretty hilarious to see Joe's reaction to how she lost to a lovable lame brain like Lindsay. Alright, I think that crosses off fixing Total Drama All-Stars again on our list. Obviously, all this is my opinion. There are literally a million ways to fix that trash that is Total Drama All-Stars. So I think that is going to be it for our list. Let me know what list you'd like to see next. With all that said, I look forward to seeing you with our next list.